it's our year, you know, end of, well, October is our year end as far as business goes. So it's, you know, that's how we judge our year rather than from January to January or Christmas or from birthdays. So that's our year, and what a year it's been. So much upsetting, you know, not having horses in, all this COVID that's gone on. It's disrupted everything. So I thought what I would do is I had to get my knee done at some time, a replacement knee. So I thought, we're coming into winter time, now's the time to get it done. So I've just had it done about a couple of 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago now. But I've had a complete new knee, so it takes far more time. So rather than disappoint people that that we do have Friday films and like that, what I thought we'd do is look back through the archives, because we have got a vast archives of stuff we've done, and I just thought the ones I've chosen to bring forward is where there was lots of questions. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Often by, they might come by email or whatever, but certainly mentioned on the site, on YouTube and other ways of getting in touch with us. And there's been, when you said that, could you explain that a bit more? So I thought that's what we do. And also, we used to have a series, which was a nice series. I liked doing it, and people got quite involved with it. And I thought that might be worth, not a rerun, but again, the same thing. So when I've done a film before and people haven't really understood the point I'm trying to make on a particular subject, it could be anything from rubber bits to why we have the bridge in Sillawas or why, or to go into a little bit more detail. So what I'm going to do is play the film and probably do a voiceover, so that what's not explained in the film now would be, a broader church. So what we've done, we've picked the ones where there's been lots of interest, and why do you do it like that? Why don't you do it like this? Convention says, and whatever. And the other thing is Old Time Tuesdays was just stuff I've collected over the years, which you don't really, so much of it, that was, when I was young, was common day. You wouldn't see. I'll give you a little I just got something now. I'll just give you a little preview. Here, this one, for instance. So this was from Old Time Tuesdays, and I obviously didn't explain it sufficiently for people to understand what it is. But I'll give you a little, what they call it, a teaser or a trailer, is it? So here we go. So there it is there. Yeah. I'm going to turn it slowly so you can see. Yeah. It's got two straps, and the straps come out the side here. If I just do that, it looks almost like a little saddle there in some ways, doesn't it? But and it's zinc plated, and the seams around the side are very carefully bent and flattened and filled up. So that's one of the things which I didn't explain enough. So that's one of the, and one other thing as well, I just got out to, years ago, a lot of lads that got a job, was lucky enough to get an apprenticeship. Apprenticeships, when I was a nipper, was commonplace. They're not anymore. And these apprenticeships, obviously, so you've learnt your job, and now you're going to go out into the big wide world, and you've got to have something to show people what you can do, if that's possible. So I haven't got a full set of it, but I've got a little set, and this is what they used to call an apprentice piece. So I don't know, maybe an engineer in a certain field that was going to go into steam engines might make a little steam engine model, and then he'd show them what they could do. So this one, for instance, was for a harness maker, and this would have been Irish without any question, in my opinion. I cannot guarantee it, but see that little miniature set of harness? I've got the collar and everything for it, and we'll go over that. Now this was, I didn't explain enough, or people want to see more, and because you'd never find one, would you? You'd never see one. It'd be very rare if you did. I mean, it wasn't the only one made, but certainly it would have been, they'd be rare, very, very rare. So how do I know it's donkey harness? Because you could say, well, that's the same as you put on a saddle on a shire horse. Perfectly true, but with donkey harness, they're bony by structure of their body. They carry a bit, especially around their hips and their spine at the back. So donkey harness always had a big pad here, sitting along the ridge of its back above its hips, and there again, there coming down its flanks, it would have a nice bit of padding there. But this was made by an apprentice in Ireland. There's lots of donkey harness there. There's plenty of donkey harness here, but it was used far more out there because small holdings, little tiny farms where a donkey could work the ground and pull a cart and do all sorts of things. So this would be the harness that was made, but a beautiful thing to make, and very, very, you know, so it showed as much as you could possibly say. It would show the stitching on there, for instance, how close it is, yeah. A tiny little set like that made to go on a donkey. I've got the collar, I've got the bridle, so we've got these great archives of films. I mean, literally, well, they'd be in their thousands, but I can't do anything at the moment. So for the last month or so, we put up some films that we had, and really come up with this idea, and she said, let's go back, you know, back in time and have a look at what we done back then when we was trying to explain things. We had like a library that people could subscribe to, which was ever successful. The problem was back then that people didn't have the internet, so there was a lot of interest in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, America, and of course I've been out there quite a few times now, and when you travel between major towns you might not get the internet coverage, so downloading speed and that sort of thing was a problem with it. So we're going to re-release some of these in the future when we get some time onto these pegs now, because you don't even use CDs anymore, do you, whatever they call. So they're on these little pegs, so we're going to pick a selection of the people that are still asking for them now, you know, so we're going to do that and put them on when we get a chance. So over these next few weeks into next year, that's what we're going to do, is to try and give you a glimpse back at Old Time Tuesdays. You can go on there now and see, if you just go back and put in Old Time Tuesdays, I don't know how many films, there's quite a few, about old stuff I've just collected over the years that people wouldn't necessarily know today. And that's true in any trade. I mean, it wouldn't matter what the trade was, you know, whether it was, you know, working with horses, farriers, you know, harness makers, carriage builders. They would all had little tools that they used to do certain jobs, or certain ways of getting over, you know, working with horses and making a job of it. So that's what we're going to do. So because we can't, obviously, with this knee, if you saw the front of it, it looks like someone's put a zip in it, you know, it's got all little lights going on. But it has restricted, obviously, drastically what I can do. But I'm up and about, and I can get around to a certain extent, but it's going to be a fair while yet, certainly till after Christmas. So that's what we thought we'd do. So I thought I'd come on here and just, you know, this Friday night and just let you know what the future holds. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this. And if you've got any, please, love your comments, absolutely love your comments. And we find out what you want to know about. So especially going back in the archives, you could say, have you got anything on this subject, that subject, or whatever, and we do. You know, and always remember this, you know, it's the way I do it. Don't make it right, but it works for me. Okay, God bless.